Hi, it's Karen Dubs with Flexible Warrior. Today we're going to do a little restorative stretch sequence, mostly hip flexors, quads, hamstrings, and hips, of course. So it's kind of marathon season, football season, a lot of type athletes out there right now. So just wanted to do short, about 10 minutes of stretching, pretty restorative stuff. Okay, so join me. You don't need a mat, but if you have one, of course, roll it out. But don't use that as an excuse not to stretch. Take your toes together to touch. Walk your hands forward, knees out really wide. So knees as far as you can have them comfortably, the toes touching. Walk your hands as far forward as you can and melt down into the mat beneath you. Okay, deep breaths in and out through the nose. This is wide leg child's pose. If your head doesn't quite touch the mat, you can stack your fists on top of each other and rest your forehead there, or just hands on top of each other, forehead there. Okay, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Try to just relax into wide leg child's pose. 2 more breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Good. One more time. Deep breath in and exhale. And then go ahead and press yourself up to a kneeling position. So knees are under hips, and they're about hip bone distance apart. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see this next one. We're going to inhale and exhale into cat and cow. So as you inhale, you tilt your tailbone up, pull your shoulders back, open your collarbone and your heart. And as you exhale, round your spine, press through your hands, tuck your tailbone, and stretch your low back. So inhale into cow, exhale into cat. One more time, deep inhale, tilt your tailbone up, shrug your shoulders back. Exhale, flex your spine, tuck your tailbone, chin to chest, hollow the belly out. And then return to a neutral spine, and we're just going to take the right leg and extend it straight back, and extend the left arm straight forward. This is spinal balance. And then all you're going to do is bend your right knee and reach your left hand back and see if you can grab your foot with your hand. And if you can't, don't worry about it, just work in that direction. If you do have a hold of your hand on your foot, kick your toes up to the ceiling or kick your foot into your hand so that you get a nice stretch from your left shoulder into your right hip flexor and quad. Okay? Let's take one more deep breath here. Really press through your right hand, but keep your right elbow soft. And then release that foot down and step it in front of you so that your knee is right out over your ankle. Okay? Back knee slides back so you get a stretch through your hip flexor quad. And we're going to come up to a high kneeling position. So from here, and I'll just switch to the side again so you can see, as you reach out over your head, I want you to grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and stretch over to your right. And what this does is really opens up the hip flexor and the quad. If your knees are sensitive, make sure you're in a padded surface, or get a towel or something and slide it under your back knee. Okay, let's take one more breath and just really stretch to the side. No forcing, no pushing, just stretch to wherever your body's going to allow you to go so you feel that openness there. Coming back to center as you inhale, bring your hands down on either side of your front foot and let's pull the hips back so we're in a runner stretch. So what I want you to think about is pulling your hips way back so that you're pulling your tailbone back as well. And as you do that, you'll feel the stretch through your right hamstring. Take an inhale, open the heart forward. So think of that cat and cow that we did earlier. It's more of the cow pose where you're tilting and opening and extending the spine. And then as you exhale, keeping that extension through your spine, go ahead and bend the elbows and fold out over your front leg. Now this is a great hamstring stretch. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And again, just subtle adjustments, thinking about pulling back with your tailbone and your hips, softening your shoulders, relaxing your face, neck, and jaw. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. On your next inhale, let's curl your back toes under. Walk forward a little bit and then pivot to the side because we're going to come into a straddle stretch. So some of you might want to walk your feet a little further out, but your toes should be slightly angled in. And then your hands are shoulder width distance apart And you can walk your hands back so that they're in line with your feet, and your forehead and crown of your head will relax down to the floor. So this is a great stretch for the hamstrings, groin, and or thigh. For some of you, you're going to want to maintain that support with your hands underneath you. But for others, you'll be able to interlace your fingers out behind your tailbone, squeeze your elbows straight, and then the arms come out over the head. So you're getting a nice stretch through the shoulder and the chest as well. Don't force any of this. Again, so if it feels better for you, just have your hands supporting right underneath your chest and shoulders. Either way, let's take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, see if you can let go of the weight of your head even more so that you're getting a nice stretch through the cervical spine and through the neck, tractioning out the neck. On your next inhale, push through your hands, lift up, and walk around to this front foot. You're going to release your back knee down to the mat again, and we're going to come into pigeon. So all you're going to do is walk your foot over to the side so you can release your knee down towards your right wrist. You're going to point your left toes and slide your left foot as far back behind you as you can. You're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch as you do that with your hip. And then go ahead and release down. So for many of you, you're going to be a little tighter. You're going to want to stack your fists on top of each other and rest your forehead on your fists. You can have flat palms, one hand stacked on top of the other, and rest there. Or if you're more flexible, you can just keep walking your hands all the way forward, so you get a little bit more through the chest. So wherever you are, try to take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just let gravity open up this hip. Okay, one more breath in and out. Exhale, relax even more. And then support yourself up, and we're going to come into downward facing dog. So you can curl your back toes under, and I need to scooch a little forward here, I scooch back. But pressing through your hands, again, shoulder width distance with your hands, fingertips stretched out wide. Step your front foot back and come into downward facing dog. And let's take 3 deep breaths in and out through the nose in downward dog. Bending the left knee, drop the right heel so you get a good stretch to your right calf and ankle. And then switch sides. Bend your right knee, drop your left heel. And then both heels drop down. Inhale, come into plank. Exhale, bend your elbows and lower to the mat. Inhale to open up to a cobra back bend. If you want to come into upward facing dog, you can press through your palms and lift up through the hips. And then release everything down and push back to child's pose where we started. So toes together to touch, knees out wide, hips sit back to the heels, forehead melts to the mat. Breathing in and out through the nose. Again, if you need to stack your fists on top of each other, rest your forehead there. That's a perfect place to be. Doesn't matter, as long as you're feeling the stretch, you're doing it right. Let's take one more breath. And then press through your palms and support yourself up to a kneeling position. Good. So you're going to take your left leg and kick it straight back. And your right arm comes forward. You're going to reach back and try to find that foot and hand again. So if you can't find the foot with the hand, if they don't connect, just reach in that general direction. Okay? If the foot and the hand do connect, kick the foot into the hand and reach the toes up towards the sky so you get that nice stretch from the right shoulder into the left hip flexor quad. One more breath in and out through the nose. And release it down, stepping forward with your left foot. Low lunge, and then hands reach up to the sky. Grab onto your right wrist with your left hand. Right wrist with left hand, and stretch over to your left. So again, you're getting that stretch all the way hip flexor into quad. It should feel really good if you're tight in that area. Don't force it. Just breathe in and out through the nose and go to where your body's allowing you to go without forcing. One more breath. And come back to center. Bring your hands on either side of your front foot. Take an inhale, deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, pull the hips backwards so that you're getting this nice runner's stretch for our hamstring. And again, just remember that cat-cow that we started with earlier. Think of the cat portion of it where you're pulling up and back with your tailbone, pulling your chest and your heart forward. Take a huge breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, soften your elbows, relax your face, neck, shoulders, and jaw. As you breathe in and out, keep thinking about extending the spine and opening the heart. I don't know if you can hear my dogs chewing their bone, but every time I do yoga, the dogs seem to have to be within 2 inches of me. So take one more deep breath in and out through the nose. Just relax into your hamstring. And let's go ahead and shift forward for the straddle stretch, second time. So you're gonna curl your right toes under, squeeze your right leg straight, and then walk around to the side. And then same thing, your toes are gonna pivot a little bit in, heels out, hands shoulder width distance apart. Walk yourself back into your stretch, and then just let your head completely relax. Now you can experiment with this a little bit. Feet a little wider is gonna allow you to be a little bit closer to the mat. Again, keeping your hands underneath your shoulders for support is good. If you wanna try to interlace your fingers, extend your arms straight out over your head. This gets you a little bit more into the chest and shoulders and a little deeper into your stretch. So you can give that a try. And if that doesn't feel good for you, just bring your hands back underneath you. Either way, let's take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the weight of your head completely hang heavy. So give it a little shake and let it go. And then support by pressing your hands into your mat. Walk around to your front foot. You can release your back knee down to the mat. And we're gonna do pigeon on this side. So you can walk that foot over and across so that your left knee is close to your left wrist. Slide your right toes as far back as you can. So the more you reach back with that leg, the more you'll get through this hip flexor and deeper into your hip too. Go ahead and release your forearms down. Again, you can stack your fists on top of each other, rest your forehead on your fists, put your palms on top of each other, or drop your forehead all the way down to the mat. Whatever feels comfortable for you, that's what you should do. All right, let's take 2 more deep breaths in and out through the nose here in your pigeon stretch. And after your next exhale, go ahead and support yourself up. Make sure your hands are shoulder width distance apart. Curl your back toes under and step into downward facing dog one more time. So step on back. And let's pedal the heels again really slow. Bend your left knee, drop your right heel. Get that good stretch of the calf on that right side. Switch sides, bend your right knee, drop your left heel. Let your head hang heavy. And then both heels pressing down, pull your toes up. Get that good stretch on both sides. Inhale, draw to plank. Exhale, bend your elbows lower down to the mat. Inhale into a back bend. Hold that back bend and stretch a little bit from side to side, looking out over your shoulder on either side. Press your palms, lift through your heart, open your chest, and then release down. Come into child's pose, press back. Third and final time, toes touching, knees out wide, and then forehead relaxing down onto the mat. Let's take 3 deep breaths there in wide leg child's pose. Just get that good stretch of the groin inner thigh. Make sure your breath is smooth and deep. The deeper the breathing, the longer and the slower the exhale, the more you'll induce the parasympathetic nervous system, that relaxation response, recovery mode, rest and digest. So breathe deep and really focus on long, slow exhales. Go ahead and come up to sitting. You can cross your legs. Sit up as tall as you can, and I encourage you to sit on the floor as often as possible as you're watching your favorite shows. Have a seat. This will really help to keep the hips more open. All right, so sitting up tall, Hands at heart center. Take a deep breath in, so really fill up the lungs and stretch your arms for the fullest range of motion possible. And exhale, bring that positive energy in and back to your heart center. Thank you so much. Namaste. Remember, the consistency is the key, so keep practicing, practicing, practicing. Try to make your flexibility practice as consistent as everything else you do. Daily, 10 minutes makes all the difference in the world. Flexibility is power. If you have any requests, you can email me at Karen@flexiblewarrior.com. Have a great day.